And then the last one we have bring, which is membawa. 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 Okay, so try to make sure to repeat it over and over again until again you are comfortable saying the word, and try to quiz yourself and test yourself so that you can memorize it well. If you have master and memorize all those words, now it's time to learn some useful expression, which is how are you. I think this is very useful when you are meeting your friend, your new friend. In Indonesian you can say apa kabar. Apa actually means what, and kabar means news. So what news do you bring, or in this case it means how are you. Okay, and please don't mind if you hear some barking there. It's my neighbor. So but going back, so how do you say how are you? It's apa kabar. Okay, apa kabar. That's how you say how are you. Apa kabar. So natural speed would be apa kabar, apa kabar. Okay, so yeah, so now let's create sample sentences using the grammar and also the verbs and the expression that we have learned just now. So we will learn at this point, we will learn 3 sample sentences. Number 1 is kemarin saya memasak. Kemarin, do you still remember how do you say kemarin? Kemarin is yesterday, right? So that's how you say yesterday in Bahasa. It's kemarin. Kemarin. Okay? Saya is, of course, you already know this. You already learned this from your first lesson, which is I, right? Memasak is cook. Alright? So, kemarin saya masak, in English it means yesterday I cooked. You see here now again, as I mentioned previously, at the basic level, we don't have tenses in English. So, the same thing. So, if you want to say let's say I cook every day, it would be just saya masak setiap hari. You do not know what setiap hari means, but basically if you want to know, it means every day. So saya memasak stay the same. No changes, no conjugation, no nothing. So you just change the adverb of time. So kemarin saya masak mean yesterday I cook. Of course in English you need to put extra ed after the word cook, right? But in Indonesian, you do not conjugate the word or the verb at all. So it stays the same. Kemarin saya masak, yesterday I cook, and tomorrow I will cook. You will need to put some word, which translate into will, and that is something that we will learn soon. But for now, make sure you understand what kemarin saya memasak means. Okay, so kemarin, yesterday, saya masak, I cook. And again, to re-emphasize it, we don't have tenses at the basic level. So, saya memasak stay the same whether it is in past, in the present, in the future. There are some changes. Number 2 is hari ini mereka makan. Hari ini is today, of course, right? Hari ini, and mereka is day, and makan is eat. So, today they eat. Hari ini mereka makan. That's the natural speed. The slow speed would be hari ini mereka makan. Okay. Number 3 is dia akan menonton besok. Dia, you already know this. It means she or he, right? So dia, she or he. Akan. Nah, this is something that I talked about just now. This is how you say will. Okay, this is how you say will in Bahasa. We will of course cover this in more detail, but for now just try to memorize that will is akan in Bahasa. Will is akan. Akan. So akan. So she will, dia akan. I will, saya akan. They will, mereka akan. You will, kamu akan. Okay, so dia akan menonton. She or he will watch, right? Menonton means watch. What is besok? Besok is tomorrow. So dia akan menonton besok mean he or she will watch tomorrow. Yeah, so of course, by knowing these sample sentences, now you can create your own sentences and you can practice combining the words that you already learned, and also by using and following the rules of grammar that you have learned. So now it's time for us to test yourself. So how do you say yesterday she wrote? Yesterday is, of course, it is kemarin, right? And she is dia, he also dia, and wrote is menulis. Of course, I hope you remember that you do not need to conjugate the verb into past tense or into future tense. The verbs stay the same. So yesterday she wrote, kemarin dia menulis, blah blah blah. Okay. So for number 2 and number 3, try to do it by yourself, based upon what you have learned, and try to write down the answer in the comment section if you are watching this on YouTube. So if you have mistakes, we will be able to see it and we will be able to correct it. And also, if you have any questions about Bahasa, feel free to ask in the comments below, or you can email us also to bahasalittleproject@gmail.com, or you can follow us on Instagram at Bahasa Little Project for additional lessons. You can practice your Bahasa on our Facebook group. You can find our podcast on Spotify. I hope it is already now on Google Podcasts. And also you can support us on patreon.com/Bahasa Little Project to get exclusive contents and to join our exclusive Telegram group, in which you would be able to ask me and practice with me if you have any questions. So thank you for learning with us. So that is your level 1 lesson 2. I hope you have learned something, and see you next time. We will learn much more at level 1 lesson 3. Bye. Dadah. Hey, welcome to Bahasa Little Project, and this is your level 1 lesson 3. So far you have learned some Indonesian, of course, from the previous level 1 lesson 1 and level 1 lesson 2. I hope that you have practiced your Bahasa and have used it in your daily life, so that you are getting more and more comfortable using your new language. Okay, so for this lesson, we will learn some more grammar and we will learn some more vocabulary to keep improving the level of your Bahasa, and also to keep making your sentences longer and also more complicated. If you are ready, let's get started. Number 1, we will learn about adverb of place. Last time in the level 1 lesson 2, we learned about adverb of time, right? And this time we will learn about adverb of place. Number 1 is how to say at. In Bahasa, it is di. It is also as simple as at, I think, right? So in English, it is at, and then in Bahasa, it is di. Di, okay? And then number 2 is in. It is kind of longer in Bahasa. It is di dalam, but it has the same first word, which is di. So in is di dalam, okay? And on, what about on? On is di atas, okay? So again, at is di, in is di dalam, and on is di atas, okay? So those are the adverb of place that we will learn today in this lesson. And we will also learn useful expression. I think again this expression will be very useful for you in your daily usage of the language. So how do you say thank you? It is terima kasih. Okay? Terima kasih. Terima means actually accept or receive, and kasih means care or love. So you are receiving or accepting love from somebody else, and that's why you are saying thank you, right? So again, thank you is terima kasih. The natural speed would be terima kasih, and that's with the accent terima kasih. But the slow version would be terima kasih. Okay, number 2 is sorry. And I think again this is very useful when you're making mistake or when you are late, for example, to your office or whatever, to your meeting, and then you need to say sorry. Sorry is maaf. Maaf, maaf. Okay, sorry is maaf. Maaf. And then very simple but very meaningful expression is how do you say yes? Yes is ya. Ya. Okay, so that's how you say yes. It's very simple. It's kind of similar also. Yes is ya, and then no is tidak. 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 Okay, so we have learned how do you say how to say thank you. It is terima kasih, and then sorry, maaf, and then we have also learned about how do we say yes in Bahasa, which is ja, similar to German, I believe, right? Ja, and then also how do we say no in Bahasa, which is tidak. Okay, so those are the useful expressions that we learned today, and also we also have learned di dalam, and di atas for adverb of place. Okay, so it's time now to learn some new vocabulary. So these are the vocabulary that we will learn today, which are noun basically. Number 1 is school, is sekolah. 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 Okay, school is sekolah. And then we have home, which is rumah. 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 Okay, and then we have hospital, which is rumah sakit. Rumah again is home or house, and sakit means sick. Okay, so the house of sick, the house of sickness perhaps. So that's hospital in Bahasa. Rumah sakit. Okay, rumah is house or home, and then sakit is sick or being ill. And then we have park, which is taman. 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 We have toilet, which is the same thing, this toilet. So if you are in emergency at the hospital or in Indonesia or at the airport or anywhere, and you need to go to the toilet, you can just say toilet please, toilet, and people will understand you. Okay, and then restaurant is also kind of similar. I think this is originated from English and then absorbed into Bahasa. So restaurant is restoran. Restoran. Okay, restoran. 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 And then we have police station, which is kantor. Kantor polisi. I think kantor is a word originated from the Dutch, from the Netherlands language, right? Yeah, because Indonesia has a very long relationship and history with the Netherlands, so that's why we have several Dutch language, right? I'm trying to remember if that's the correct word. So yeah, basically, yeah, the Dutch language, and then we have policy. So kantor polisi means police station. I hope that when you travel to Indonesia, you will not need to go to kantor polisi or a police station. But if you need to, then that's how you say it. So again, police station is kantor polisi. Okay, so we have learned 7 nouns here. We have learned sekolah, rumah, rumah sakit, taman, toilet, restoran, and sorry, I just used the and of in Bahasa, which is done. Okay, and then the last one is kantor polisi. So please try to always repeat it after I've said it, or just try to practice it by yourself. I will now say it again so that you can practice it again. So again, sekolah is, or school is school is sekolah, and home is rumah, hospital is rumah sakit, park is taman, toilet is the same, toilet, restaurant is restoran, and police station is kantor polisi. Good job. Okay, again, practice it again and again if you are still not comfortable saying it until you feel comfortable saying it. And if you are already comfortable, now let's create some sample sentences. So you can create and build sample sentences or your own sentences using the grammar that you have learned and the vocabulary. Okay, so we will learn 3 sample sentences today. So kemarin, if you do not know what kemarin means, then it means you have to check out the previous lessons because we have covered this in the previous lessons. Okay, so kemarin saya memasak di rumah. So you have learned the new words here, which is di rumah, right? So di is at or in, right? So here is at home, obviously. So kemarin is yesterday saya memasak, I cook at home, right? And hari ini, today, mereka, they, makan, eat di restoran, at restaurant. Today, they eat at restaurant. And then number 3, ya is yes, of course. Dia, she or he will, akan, you also have learned akan. That's a future tense in, I think in lesson 2, you have learned akan. So, dia akan belajar besok di sekolah. She will learn or study, belajar, learn or study tomorrow at school. Okay, so you are of course you of course can create your own sentences based upon the grammar that you have learned in the 3 lessons that you have studied with, and also with the vocabulary that you have mastered and you have learned. So now let's test yourself. Okay, so number 1 is yesterday she wrote blah blah blah. She wrote something at school. How do you say it? 1, 2, 3. Of course, yesterday is kemarin, and she wrote. We have discussed about past tense, present tense, future tense, right? In the lesson 2. So obviously you know that it is dia menulis, and at school is something that we have just learned just now is di sekolah. Di sekolah. For number 2 and number 3, try to do it by yourself. If you want, so number 2 is today he watched blah 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 at home. How do you say it in Indonesian? And also number 3 is yes, we will talk at police station. Yes, we will talk at police station. How do you say it in Bahasa? If you are watching this on YouTube, try to make sure to write the answer, your answer, at the comments below so we can check and we can correct if you are making a mistake. Okay, and if you are listening to this lesson at podcast, you can check out the YouTube so you can also see the transcript of the words, the grammars, and the vocabulary, the sample sentences that we are using here. Book page, and you can also find our podcast on Spotify, and especially you can support us on patreon.com/Bahasa Little Project to get exclusive contents if you would like to learn more, and also you will be able to join exclusive Telegram groups if you support us on Patreon. Okay, so I hope this is useful for you. Try to practice your Bahasa, as often as possible with friends, with your family members, or with us. And I will see you again at level 1 lesson 4 very soon. Hey, welcome to Bahasa Little Project, and this is your level 1 lesson 4. Last time we have learned some verbs as well as some nouns. We have learned subjects, and we have learned the adverb of time as well as the adverb of place in Bahasa Indonesia. If you haven't checked it out, if you haven't listened or watched to those lessons, I really recommend you to do that before you continue with this lesson. Okay, and if you have, now it's the perfect time to improve your Bahasa and continue learning and continue your journey of learning Bahasa Indonesia, okay? So let's start our lesson today by learning grammar. And we will start this lesson to mean do not, does not, did not, and will not. Okay? But before we move on, we will first of all learn 3 useful expressions. I think, again, as I mentioned this over and over again in every lessons that we have, useful expression is something that